Christmas is my favorite time of year, but I feel like over the last couple of years, I've really forgotten that. I don't really celebrate early or anything. I don't really do a lot to get myself in the spirit. So this year we're going to change that and we're going to make up for the last couple of years by starting early. The weather is starting to get a little bit warmer, the days are getting longer, and that is, as a Southern Hemisphere gal, that is my body's sign that Christmas is on its way. Today, I don't think you can really see, it's not very summery. It is only the 11th of November today, and I want to make some Christmas earrings. So that's what we're gonna do today. But I feel like this backdrop isn't really giving festive, you know? I think we really need to get into the spirit. So let me just change that up just quickly. That's more like it. Now I'm really in the mood. Okay, let me finally introduce you to what we're going to be making today, and let's pick our colors, shall we? I never get to pull this out at an appropriate time of year because it's always too hot, so I figured this was the perfect video to bring it out. Alright, so let's talk game plan for today before I go and take this jumper off because it's really warm. So there's a few designs that I really want to make and a few that I would love to get to if I can. So first up, we have these little Christmas wreaths. I think these are really cute, and the pattern for these is really solidly in my brain at the moment because we just made these on Patreon as our tutorial for November. So I think these are going to be a nice easy one to start with. Then I really want to make some poinsettia flowers. These are really fun. One of these has gold hooks and one of these has silver hooks, so just ignore that. I do have a pair that both have gold hooks somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where in my house they've gone. Anyway, they look like this. I think these are just a really cute, subtle kind of Christmas look, and I think they're great for a pop of color if you don't really want in-your-face Christmas earrings, you know? So I think those would be really fun as well. The one I really want to make at least one pair of today is these little Christmas trees. Aren't they just the cutest? The little three-tiered Christmas tree. This one has little tinsel on it, and I'll put a picture on the screen, but I made one last year that had red thread and little beads as baubles, and I think that is just so cute as well. So I'd love to experiment with some of those. And then I have a few designs that aren't as polished. The poinsettias and wreaths I've done tutorials for, and so whenever I do a tutorial for a design, I really polish it up. But if I haven't made a tutorial for it, I haven't spent a lot of time perfecting the pattern. And when I say perfecting the pattern, I mean like knowing where to weave in my ends and like how to hide them really well and like make the back of it look a little bit nicer. So those ones I've done that quite a lot, but the other designs I haven't done that for yet. So one of the designs I'd love to get to is this little holly leaf and berries. But the back of them, I didn't really figure out how to sew it on, so it is just knotted onto the back. So maybe if we get time, we can figure out how to make that pattern a little bit easier. And yesterday I went and made this little stocking pattern. How cute is that? The only thing is that this takes quite a while. It is a 3D piece, so it would be quite a chunk of time to dedicate to a pair of earrings, so we'll see if we get to that. And one I don't have my own pair of is some little Christmas earrings. I gave them away as presents last year, so I don't have my own pair, but they look like this, and these are really cute as well. I hang them on a little chain, and so they kind of swing around, and I think they're really effective, but they do also take quite a while, and the pieces are really small, and it's really hard to hide the ends, so we'll see if we get to those as well. Yeah, my top priorities are the wreaths, the poinsettias, and the Christmas trees. And then if I have time at the end, maybe I will also make some Christmas colored like granny squares and things like that. I think that would also be really fun as well. So let's go pick our colors, shall we? So these are my top stitch threads that I make all of my earring designs in. I might have a few too many. I can't really see what you can see, but sure. All right, so we obviously need a lot of reds and greens, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull a lot of those out. I also figure I might as well tell you a little bit about the threads I use, since a lot of people are very interested in that. So all of the threads I use are Gutermann top stitch threads. So they come on these little pale green spools, and as you can see, I have a lot of them. They are a sewing thread, so they're from the brand Gutermann, and I'm pretty sure they only make sewing threads. I don't believe they make any crochet threads, but these are a lot thicker because they're used for top stitching. Like, think probably on like jeans and stuff. I don't know, I'm not a sewer. I want to be a sewer, but I'm not. Think on like pants and like jackets and things like that that need a bit of a thicker thread. So these are really good for that, obviously, but they're also great for crocheting. These are the equivalent to about a 30 or a 40 crochet thread weight, so they're just a little bit easier to work with than like a regular sewing thread. I have quite the collection that I have gained over the years. These threads are unfortunately quite hard to find in a lot of places. I know they're really hard to find in the United States, unfortunately. And I think even if you can find them, the numbering system is different. So even if I was to show you the color number on these, you probably wouldn't be able to find the same if you're in the United States. It's a German company, so I think in Europe they're a lot easier to find in general, especially in Germany, obviously. And I know some of my patrons in Spain and other European countries have an easier time of finding them. With all that being said, let's pick out our thread colors. So I'm just gonna straight up just pick all of my green colors, the very classic, like Christmas colors, like our really bright kind of reds and our classic greens. So I was decided to film today because the weatherman promised me sun. All right, I'm going to get started on the little wreaths to begin with. I also wanted to mention that the hook that I use with my Goodman top stitch threads is a 0.6mm hook. The one I specifically like is from the brand called Pony. I really like the ones that are just a plain, just steel hook, but you can also get ones that are grips as well. Really big advocate for this particular brand of hook. Pony, if you're watching this, I would love to become an ambassador. Do you do that? I don't know. I just love these hooks. I really do want to try and find the ones with the grips because I think that would be a nice thing to try. But I only ever started using these because these are the most common brand of hook that I can find in my craft store. So very much recommend these. But yeah, I'm going to choose out my colors. For these wreaths, I use two types of green, so a slightly darker and a slightly lighter color. I just think it makes the layers of the wreath really pop. And then I'll do a classic bright red bow on top. I've finished my two little wreaths, just the bases of them. And so now we need to add some little decorations on top. So they're going to end up looking like this. You have to add a little bow and some little stitching around the middle part of them. Just add a little bit of detail and make them look a little bit more fancy. We want them to be festive. Alright, I have made all of the elements. I've put the little decorative stitch on the top of the wreaths and I've made the little bows. I think these bows are so cute, they're so much fun. So the last step is just to sew them on. This is probably the fiddliest part, but you know, it actually doesn't take that long, so it's fine. It has taken me quite a while to make these, probably an hour and a half. In general, my pieces don't take that long to make, but these do have quite a lot of elements. I think next I just want to make a pair of the poinsettias, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let me just sew this on first. finally finished these. These always take so much longer than I think. Sewing the bows on themselves probably took me like half an hour. So yes, not great. I was gonna make 2 pairs of these. I think I'm just gonna stick with 1 pair and then I'm gonna move on to something else after lunch. These are really cute anyway, even if they did take a while. Super cute. Let me trim off the ends and we can have a look at them properly. Yay, I'm so pleased we have at least 1 pair done. Very excited about that. I'm gonna go make some lunch now and then we're gonna get stuck into another pair. As I mentioned, I'm gonna make the poinsettias next, I think, and hopefully they should be a little bit quicker. There's less color changes, there's no like sewing details on or anything like that. So hopefully they'll be a little bit quicker. And the weather is also finally starting to clear up. We have some blue skies. The weatherman didn't completely lie to me that there was going to be blue skies today. Hopefully it continues to get a bit clearer and just a bit brighter. I just really wanted this video to have like summer Christmas vibes and so far it hasn't been. But hopefully we get some of those this afternoon because we get a lot of light in this part of the house. And so it'll be really nice if we can have a bit more sunlight in here. It's time to move on to the poinsettia flowers. These don't require any sewing, so they should be a little bit quicker, hopefully. I really want to finish this day with more than just 1 pair of earrings finished. I might do these and then maybe some granny squares or something, and then maybe we'll move on to the Christmas trees and see if I can get at least 1 pair of those done. I want to set a timer this time. I wish I had set a timer for my wreaths, but I want to set a timer to see how long it'll take me to get the poinsettias done. All right, we have 2 pairs of earrings done so far. It is 4 o'clock. It is way later than I expected it to be by the time I got 2 pairs of earrings done, but that is the nature of these earrings. This is why I don't make these very often for like selling them, because they do take quite a long time to make. But I'm pleased with the way they've gone so far. Yeah, okay, I think I'm going to switch gears now and I'm going to make something that's Christmas colored but not necessarily Christmas shaped. I just feel like I really just want to make either some little flowers or something a little bit smaller that I know off the top of my head and I don't need a pattern for. Hopefully these will be a little bit quicker, fingers crossed. We are on to coffee number 3 of today. I do believe this is decaf, but my boyfriend made it, so I'm not sure. I did take a bit of a break. It is now 5 o'clock. I did start making some flowers, got a little bit disinterested in them and changed tracks. Might make something else instead. I always try to picture what I'm making in my head before I start it, especially with like tiered earrings, so that I can kind of picture where the colors are going to work best in the piece. But I've gotten pretty good at visualization, but sometimes what I have in my head isn't always quite what it looks like in a piece. Yeah, I'm not super thrilled with what I've done so far. I've made a whole one flower. Like, I didn't get very far into it. I don't know, I set out to make Christmas earrings, and I want to make Christmas earrings, but they just take a really long time. And I want to make at least 3 pairs of earrings by the end of today. This was meant to be just a one-day video, but maybe I might continue this into tomorrow. I'm still going to keep crocheting today, but I really want to make some Christmas trees. That was like the whole what I wanted to make in this video, was just more Christmas trees, because I just think they're so cute. So maybe I might see how many I can get done for the rest of today, and then tomorrow we might just make some Christmas trees just as a one-off. Because I really like the colours I pulled out, so maybe I just need a different type of flower. Let me think and get back to you. Man, look at that blue sky. That is crazy. What the heck? You saw the sky this morning? How is it? Anyway, I love to overcomplicate anything. So I couldn't decide exactly what I wanted to do, so I went and drew it up. And after all that, I do like some of these. These would just be, they're just different versions of a 3-tiered earring with flowers. I do like some of them, but I think after all that, I'm just going to go for a simple red and green. You just can't beat a simple red and green for a Christmas earring, you know? So I think we're just going to go with that. The 2 reds and the 2 greens. This is the flower I was making before. There's my classic fluffy flower. If you've followed me for a while, you've probably seen these. I just wasn't feeling it for this. There is another design of mine that I've made quite a few times, and it's a bit more of a pointy flower, kind of a bit like these, just like a single layer and it's just like pointy petals. And I think it just, I don't know, it feels a bit more Christmassy somehow. I feel like they almost look like little stars, I guess, but we'll just make them into flowers. So yes, these will probably be my last pair of earrings for the day. It is already 5:30. We need to make dinner at some point. So yes, I'm going to get these done, and then hopefully tomorrow we can make some Christmas trees in the morning, and then we'll post these on Etsy.
the simplest feeling beyond the broken gate. We stand on the opposite shore, head over. I reach through mysterious secrets, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know. All in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. We're all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the
All of the Christmas tree decorations are done. Next step is to trim off all of the ends and then we can figure out how to decorate them, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to go find my little beads and gather together some of my little tinsely kind of shiny threads and we'll figure out what we want to do for the little decorations. So far, looking good. It has been a year since I've made these, so I'm glad that the pattern I wrote down on my phone was actually accurate because sometimes it's not. They have worked out well, so let's decorate them. So I've got these. This gold one is the one I used on my other little tree that I made that I still have. It's a bit squashed, but yeah, that is what I used on that one. And then on the other one I made last year, I used the sulky kind of shiny red thread, which I think looks really beautiful as well. I have all of these beads. The last time I used the gold ones on this end. I don't know, I think silver would also look really nice. This little container always worries me because the entire lid comes off and I'm so worried about it coming off and me just dropping these everywhere because I can imagine them in carpet would be terrible. Alright, well, that is all of the earrings I managed to get done. It was meant to be in a day, but it ended up being over 2 days, but that's okay. Yeah, it's not quite as many as I thought I was going to get done, but that's fine. They are slightly more complicated designs than I usually work with, and it's been a while since I've made any of the designs, so I think it's fair that it took me a little while to make them. You may notice that I keep calling these earrings, and in any of the footage that I've taken of the completed earrings, they're not actually earrings yet. That's just because when I make earrings to list on Etsy, I like to give my customers a choice between either gold or silver jewelry pieces, so there's not really much point in me actually completing them until they've told me which one they would prefer, so that's why they're not actually finished. The Christmas trees may or may not be on Etsy when this video goes live. I ended up finishing a lot of it off camera, like the little star on top, and like assembling them, and that was because I was getting a little bit frustrated with it because I've snapped one of the threads of the stars that I made, and so I need to go back and make it again. So yeah, I was just getting a little bit annoyed with it because I stuffed it up. We'll see if I can get it finished before I put this video on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I have a lot of fun things planned for December, so I hope you stick around and let me know in the comments which one was your favorite pair of earrings. Even if it wasn't one of the ones I made, I did show a few at the start that I didn't actually end up making later on. So yeah, let me know. If you would like to try your hand at making any of these, I do have Patreon tutorials for a few of them. So we did the poinsettia flowers in December last year, and in November, just gone, this November, we just did the Christmas wreaths, which were a really, really fun one. I think a lot of people enjoyed that one. And then for December, my patrons are currently voting on which one they would like to do. And it looks like so far the Christmas trees are winning, but who knows if they might get overtaken by, I think the holly was second in the running. So if you would like your say in that, you can sign up now and vote for which one you'd like to see. All of the details for those will be down in the description. Yeah, I'm glad I made this video. I love Christmas and I feel like I never do a lot to celebrate. So yeah, I think this really got me in the mood. My boyfriend and I literally just went and bought a Christmas tree, so I'm going to put that up and vlog a little bit of that as well and just continue the Christmas spirit. So very pleased and I hope you enjoyed. I will hopefully see you again soon in the next video. Bye guys.